Unresolved problem segment tonight, global warming, big topic of conversation at the UN this week. And actor Leonardo DiCaprio was one of the speakers.
We need to put a price tag on carbon emissions and eliminate government subsidies for oil, coal, and gas companies. We need to end the free ride that industrial polluters have been given in the name of a free market economy. They do not deserve our tax dollars. They deserve our scrutiny. For the economy itself will die if our ecosystems collapse.
Well, if you put yourself out like that, you know somebody's going to confront you.
We want to create 100% clean energy. We need to make a transition in this country. We need to show leadership, and that's what we're here to represent.
What do you say to critics who say you go on yachts, you're traveling, and then here you are trying to get climate change?
Got to get the climate march moving. Sorry.
Wow. Joining us from Washington, Michelle Fields, a reporter you just saw, who asked Mr. DiCaprio that legitimate question. And from Tampa, Jessica Ehrlich, a Democratic strategist. Mr. Ehrlich, begin with you. Is that a fair question that Michelle asked?
Sure, I think it's a fair question, but the bigger question to be asked is actually what the main point of his speech was and why he was there. And during his speech earlier on, he said that it wasn't about light bulbs or driving hybrid cars. This is a global issue that needs to be addressed. We're not addressing it in trade agreements. And the biggest polluters in the world are in China, in Mexico, and we feel the effects here in the United States and around the world. And he's been working actively against this through his Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation now for almost 16 years.
All right. Now, Michelle, you see it a little bit differently, right? I mean, and Al Gore was under the same spotlight. He's the original Mr. Global Warming and lives in a big mansion in Tennessee and flies on private jets and took a lot of hits for that. But is it fair? I mean, if Mr. DiCaprio is sincere in his beliefs, there's no reason to think he isn't, to say, well, you have to, you know, ride a horse and, you know, you can't have any modern conveniences. Is that fair?
Well, look, if he makes himself the face of this issue, he ought to lead by example. He causes probably more pollution in one day than most Americans do for an entire year. This year alone, Leonardo DiCaprio went on 20 trips around the country, around the world. While most Americans watch the World Cup from their living room, Leonardo DiCaprio was on a 400-foot yacht, which was paid for and owned by a man who made money through oil. So that's a little hypocritical. You need to walk the walk if you want to be the face of this issue.
What about that, Ms. Ehrlich? I mean, if he's hanging with the swells that are not polluting, but, you know, in the fossil fuel industry, and if he's making, you know, a fairly big show of running around the world in private jets and things like that, should he just maybe do it from a financial point of view, not be the spokesperson?
Yeah, well, I think he does both. And, you know, we've seen this also, you know, with UNICEF even. He's now this UN messenger for peace. Leo is for the UN, specifically for climate control. It's his issue. He obviously has a huge following. It gets us talking about this issue on a
but he doesn't, as Michelle rightly said, he doesn't walk the walk. I mean, look, a person like Daryl Hannah, I think, was living in a tree for 3 months.
Right.
I mean, and we'd love to have her on.
He could be doing global, he could be doing offsets for all of this. I mean, there are ways you can do those things where you pay for offsets.
The thing is, Jessica, he wants everyone else to change their lives. He wants everyone else to change their lives, but he doesn't want to change his life.
What he's advocating for is that we have and we put into place a UN resolution that is binding on other countries, that they actually input the sort of regulations we have in this country to ensure that
if you make yourself the
Michelle, hold on. Look, the intent is noble. We all want a cleaner planet. It's whether it's Leo who should be doing it if he's so high profile and does exactly the opposite of what he's telling, as Michelle pointed out, other folks to do. So, I mean, I think DiCaprio should have answered the question. I didn't like his goon running up and getting in Michelle's face. I think Leo DiCaprio should have answered Michelle's question. He should come on here. You're a very eloquent spokesperson, Mr. Ehrlich, but I'd like to talk to Leo. You know, he can keep the sunglasses on if he wants. We have lights in the studio. I know
I'm sure he's capable of doing it,
But he wouldn't. He wouldn't come up against me.
Except he went deaf when I asked him the question. Well, as soon as I asked the question, he suddenly couldn't hear
Michelle,
anything.
Let me just break this to you gently. You're more frightening than I am. All right? If I were him, I would have taken off. I don't want to answer your questions. Come on. All right, ladies. We appreciate you coming on tonight.